All right, so now we have reached the fifth paragraph, and this is the fifth paragraph right now. Now, Dr. Uh, Walker actually has six, but I'm going to show you why they're tied together. So, in the fifth paragraph, it says state the gap in the literature, right? Now, typically, I just have people write this in one paragraph, but Dr. Walker actually split this up into two paragraphs, and I'm going to show you what she did. So, the first paragraph was setting up the second paragraph, right? So, let's take a look. Forrest 2017 identified a number of limitations to their study. So, essentially, what she's doing here is she's using the limitations to support the gap in the research. Limitations include small sample size, an age restriction, the breakdown of game content into sexual versus violent themes, and the sample did not include significant variation in race participants, making the sample not general to larger populations. Further limitations existed with accessibility. The study was limited to individuals with internet access and were recruited from two social media sites, limiting the sample size due to restrictions on the range of gaming forums. And I highlighted this part because this is the critical part that she uses to justify the gap. Forrest 2017 suggested for future studies expanding on the relationship between gaming, relationship satisfaction, and differences in sexual orientation, relationship satisfaction in teenagers and adults, and increasing the scope of gaming related variables such as time spent playing games. So then she sets it up. In this study, I examined whether time spent playing MMORPGs predict marital quality when mediated by adult attachment style. Because she's using this, the limitation in this study, meaning that we need to look at the relationship between relationship satisfaction and as well as other things related to gaming time, right? So relationship satisfaction was not included in this study. So my goal was to develop a clear image about the links between MMORPGs and marital relationships to better understand how MMORPGs can affect this relational area. This gap exists in the research because previous research did not focus on how the individual's adult attachment style or family relationships are affected by excessive gaming playing. Okay? This study was necessary because while it is known that playing MMORPGs affects a person's life, it is not known what effect it has on marital quality. So what I would have done is I would just combine these into one. I would have said something like, Forrest identified a number of limitations to their study. Forrest suggested for future studies expanding on the relationship between, I would have included this, and then I would have added this section on top of that instead of breaking it up into two. But again, that's what she did, but you don't have to do that. Okay, you can take the more critical elements and then combine them together. All right, so in this fifth paragraph, you're going to state the gap in the literature. The gap exists in the research because researchers did not focus on how individuals' adult attachment style or family relationship are existing. My goal was to develop a clear image about the links between MMORPG and marital. This is the gap right here. Oops. This right here was the gap. Okay? I examined the house time and then all this information right here, and then this is why. This is a justification for the gap. So this is what you're going to do in this fifth paragraph. State what the gap is and why the gap exists. Evidence that supports that this is the gap. Okay? So that's what you're going to do for paragraph number 5. Once you do that, we will move on to the next section, which is the purpose statement. Okay? So finish this up and then we will move on to the purpose statement.